Mr. Page?
Who is it?
It's DC Johnson here.
Oh, hello.
DC Kennedy from Nottinghamshire Police.
Right.
Hello there.
What's it
So
about?
is it Stefan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Do
Stefan.
you want a quick chat with you?
Yeah, can we do it outside because the kids are inside?
Yeah, if you want, no problem at all. No problem.
What's it about?
All it is, it's nothing for you to worry about.
Okay, you don't mind me recording, do you? And just do it.
Record what you like, no problem at all.
Okay.
DC Kennedy, it's nothing to worry about.
Right, no, I'm not
Basically,
worried.
Just to check or basically find out what you're taking photographs for a Rathbone Power Station. That's just being dead straight with you. Yeah.
I've not had a copy of this stop search record that I've been requesting.
Right.
Okay.
Now, was I breaking any laws?
No, you're not breaking any laws,
Right.
no, not at all.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain to you?
Yes,
I'm sure
please.
you've got a very good idea
I
why we're
I
asking.
do a lot of photography.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well,
All
that's,
sorts of places. But
Right.
go on.
Well, we do a lot of this.
Which,
Okay.
what?
We come and
Challenging
visit
people?
Challenge, not challenging, you know. No.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
you want us to just
No.
ignore what we think could
Go
be
on,
hostile
give us. No,
reconnaissance?
give us. Go on then. Yeah.
or
Go on.
the fact that you are a keen photographer
Yeah.
and everything is above board? How do we find that out without talking to you?
Well, I explained to. Was it? What was the guy's name? PC Stevenson, I think his name was.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
All I know is
Right.
my name's Mark. Right. Just to straight
Mark.
step.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go off on the right foot. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
here to accuse you of anything.
No.
Right. If you can appreciate, sometimes we get people who do things like that because they've got an ulterior motive. You more than likely will probably haven't.
No.
If you haven't, it isn't against law to take photographs.
It's-
but
no,
we
it's not.
basically, it comes through. We're in a department that looks at stuff like that. Because unfortunately, it does
Right.
happen. We've had protests there before.
Yeah, I
People try to
understand
shut
that.
it
I've seen
down,
all that. Yeah,
cost the
yeah.
government
I had
millions
no
of
intention of
pounds.
protesting
Not
against
at all.
it.
No, I'm not saying you were, but
No.
the only way we can find out
Right.
is to knock on the door and go,
Fair enough.
do you mind if we ask what you were up to? And if you're saying, yeah, I've got a
I'll-
photographic site, that's
Yeah,
where you're.
yeah. I'll
It's
tell
not
you
a
the same
problem.
as what I told the guys that
Brilliant.
was there. Just
Thank you.
personal interest. That is all it is.
Right,
Um,
right.
I
Is that
didn't-
photography in general?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
In power stations as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just that. I mean, that one's in operation, which has
Yes.
I've got more of an interest in that one because it's still still operational.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware. There's one down at Willington
Yeah, no.
down there.
Yeah.
There's just the towers remaining.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And
my dad works in the power industry, so I know that, a lot of
Well,
the,
there we go. We got
yeah.
something in common because
Yeah.
my dad worked at Fiddler's Ferry,
Right.
Mould Power Station before it was demolished.
Right.
Wilver Nuclear Power Station, Charleston at Festiniog,
Yeah.
Dinorwick Power Station, Electric Mountain. So there's me
There's your
interest.
interest.
There's me
and
interest.
that's all we're
Yeah.
basically doing.
Right.
Right.
So I've not broken any
No, you're
No, not
rules
at
or
all.
laws. No.
The thing is,
And-
we're aware that you were there twice. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I've been there before, more than
Yeah.
that actually, but I've only been
But-
approached twice.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
there's
and
no.
Yeah.
No, and there isn't. Like Mark said, the only reason we
Yeah.
sort of knock on the door is we've had, as a force, we've had severe problems with it. a few
Yeah.
years ago,
That,
as you're saying, you're aware
PC
of.
Stevenson
Yeah,
explained that.
and that's why
I'm aware of that
the,
as well.
the
Fully
site getting
aware
up
of that.
judgery.
Yeah.
And it's not just that particular site. There's other places.
Yeah.
Just the way the world now. If
course.
you take, we are aware
Yeah.
that some people that are engaged in photography as a hobby and like doing that. Not
That's all it
necessarily-
is, you see, and
Yeah.
that's hence the reason I carry one of these with me every time I take that camera out, because if I was walking around with my phone camera,
Yeah.
I would get. I've done it.
Yeah.
I would get left alone.
Yeah.
You know, I could
Yeah,
photograph
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
and you get left alone. The moment you get a tripod out, a professional, a decent-looking
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then the interest and that I don't
But
understand
it-
where
it's-
does.
no, it's not just
what's
that.
the difference?
If
you
you,
know.
no, if you get a mobile phone out,
Yeah.
let's just take power stations away from it. If you go into a big shopping centre, something like
Yeah, yeah.
that, and you start taking pictures of certain aspects of that shopping centre,
Yeah.
you'll be challenged.
Yeah.
And it'll be
Yeah.
reported through
Well,
to us.
like I said
Yeah.
to PC Stevenson,
Yeah.
I was at the power station,
Yeah.
right? A mile down the road, you've got East Midlands Airport. Now, surely East Midlands Airport is a far more sensitive area than a power station.
They're
You
both
can,
sensitive
you
sites.
can, yeah, you can go around the perimeter fence, which is all I was
Yeah.
doing at the. There's no difference. It's all I was doing at the
Yeah.
power station. I was
Yeah.
staying on public ground. I wasn't crossing any boundaries. I had no intention of crossing any boundaries.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to have been granted sometime maybe permission to go on site and just, you know.
Do you know one of the things
But-
that we often say to people when we have these conversations?
Yeah.
Is, and what helps allay the fears of the security staff that might be looking at that particular site
Yeah.
is if you go up to them and say, before you
Yeah.
go around the perimeter, just perhaps try and find somebody and say, look, this is who I am. I'm really interested in taking pictures. I've got no ulterior motive. I'm being
Yeah.
upfront with you.
Well, he actually approached me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't give him the details because I'm not obliged to. I wasn't obliged to give PC Stevenson the details. I did in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't give him the details, but I explained to him what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, I said, look, this is what I'm doing. I said, plus at the time, the power station was in near enough full steam, so it looked pretty impressive. That's what I was trying to capture, and I've been trying to capture that for about 3 weeks. Every time I go, you know, I'd leave it, and it'd be like nice and.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
It's just
and
as
that's
I say,
all it is.
Our reasons for, like Brett says, is why we're here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you know, I'd say if you were around there and you probably were going around different spots with a camera phone, and they saw you on CCTV, the same thing would have happened.
Yeah, well, I did notice the cameras were
you get a
sort
big
of
tripod
moving,
out,
and I thought, well,
and
fair
the camera,
enough.
people are going to say a lot more, hey, what's
That's
happening here?
exactly it.
Well,
Yeah, exactly it.
The reason we come around is, as we said, that's the same thing. We get quite a lot of these. Odd ones with the power stations, we get quite a lot, dare I say, that happen in the city centre, like Nottingham, people going around the university.
Yeah.
The
But again, that's
hall.
you know, people have an interest in all sorts of things.
Absolutely, but you know, in the current climate, when people are leaving
Yeah,
bags
that's
in
the
certain
problem,
areas and
isn't it?
blowing things up and killing people,
Yeah,
we have a duty to
I've
check
no
out.
intention of doing it like that. You know.
Well, we have a duty to check out who's who, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And quite often we've gone and spoke to people and we've found out they're doing a course to do with architecture at the unit, and it is all a good book.
Well, funny enough,
you know, until we find that out, people are going, "Who was that?"
Yeah.
And it puts fear into folks. Actually.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's a camera. You know, I know you can perhaps use it for maybe reconnaissance or getting some kind of information from it. But, you know, the week before I was there the week before that when I wasn't challenged by anybody. I actually met up with another photographer who was near East Midlands Park Way, and he was up near roundabout, well, not the far end where I was, but near this end, you know. And he said the same thing. He said the moment you get out, he had tons more equipment than me. He had a film camera, but he was doing it as a project. He was doing a university, like you said, university project.
And that's one of the things we would try to do anyway. We just try to have a look and just to see whether there is any issues there. But like Mark said, sometimes the best issue for us is just knocking the door. You know, in a different force area, we could have asked Derbyshire, but the easiest thing for us is just to come round ourselves.
Yeah, we're just over the border, aren't we? Or, a couple of miles over the border.
Because all we've done is shout up to Derbyshire and say we're coming onto the back, just have a quick chat.
Oh right, yes.
And that's it. You know, and so most of the time it's just a matter of having a chat with somebody and saying, look, we know you. Well, obviously we know that's the whole point to see whether you've done anything wrong. You haven't obviously broken the law at the time.
No.
What we needed to do is just make certain that you had an above board reason for doing it, because we do know other people, as Mark says, they do things for reason. And it might sound a little bit far-fetched about people doing reconnaissance of sites, but
one of your guys actually, one of your
do. So
I didn't get the other. One was PC Giddy and one was PC Stevenson, but there was another guy there, a PCSO. I didn't get his name, but he said to me, he said, you could have links with all kinds of undesirables, And I was a single person. I was on my own. I had, had a body cam strapped to me purely for the reason, you wander around and you do get approached, not like now, but you do get approached. And even you walk around town with a DSLR over your shoulder, people give you a double take. You think, what's he up to? And in a public area, you're more than.
Hopefully, it's how things. I hope you understand that we can't just. When something's reported into the police, we can't just go, it was probably nothing, and not do anything. We have to have a quick look into it. And I said the easiest thing is come and have a chat.
Yeah. But
and the other thing, the problem we have, the authorities and the government is nationally saying to the public, please be vigilant. So when someone then says something, or in this case, it's security officers that
have said
that we can't just, as I say, the easiest thing to do sometimes is just knocking the door and have a chin round.
Well, I mean,
that's all we're really looking to do. So we're not trying to sort of cause you an issue or.
It doesn't. I mean, the fact that you're here now, I know. It doesn't worry me in the least. Because I know that I've done nothing wrong. No.
And we're happy that.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
all it is.
In myself, that you're not a bad person who's going to do something.
Some people might say, but no, I'm
you
not.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not. But I mean, the thing is,
sorted it out.
There's no difference between a DSLR camera. I haven't got it in a minute. A dash cam, which again records everywhere you go, doesn't it? It's constantly recording. And like I explained to you the other day, you go on Google Maps and look over that power station, and you do an aerial view of that power station. You can zoom right in on far more detail than what I could ever capture from the roadside or from the public footpath. And I was on a public right of way. The public footpath actually runs the perimeter near enough of the whole site, doesn't it?
It's we understand all of that. We understand
Yeah.
technology makes it easy for you to do this, a lot of this from your
Yeah.
actual. But the bottom line is, people do go out. There are some people that genuinely are out there to commit crime.
Of course there are.
And,
Yeah, of course
and
there are.
they do use that as a reason, and they'll go along.
Do they use, it's expensive? It's not that expensive, but it's
but
camera equipment
plausible
and stuff.
accounts have been given before. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
And then when you find out, very, very left wing, and they're doing hostile reconnaissance.
so
Right.
that's all it's about.
Yeah.
It's just to knock on the door and have a chat, because all we knew is we knew you've been stopped and chatted to the second time, but from security they said, it's the second time the chap's been here.
Yeah. Well, it was actually it was the second he'd approached me at the entrance, the main entrance. I was on the opposite side. Say this is the entrance. I was on that side of the road.
Yeah.
Up in there's a little embankment there,
Yeah.
and he approached me there. Well,
Yeah.
he drove, and I didn't. I knew he was coming, but I just carried on with what I was doing, And I waited, and he walked up the bank and started asking me questions, and that was the first encounter.
Uh-huh.
And I says to him then, I said, look, he said, who are you? He was polite enough,
Yeah.
I said, who are you? What are you doing? I said, well, I've got an interest in power stations. Sad or not, I don't know, but that's it. And I said, I'm just because, and then obviously as time went on, the steam went less and less, and then by the time your guys turned up, it clouded over and there was nothing,
Yeah.
So I said to him, you can see the pictures if you want.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're okay. And he went away happy. Now, as far as I was concerned, he'd done his bit.
Yeah. Was that the first time? Or second
That was the first time.
Yeah. You see, that didn't
Before-
filter through to us. All we got was he's been here before.
Right.
So all we wanted to do was to have the ability to.
Unless
say,
he'd seen me before, but he'd never approached me before.
I think.
Well, the message when it came through as because what happens is that we often get messages come through
Yeah.
like quite convoluted or
Conflicting
you ring and go,
messages,
what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
So hence I rang the guy at the power station. He says, oh yeah, I spoke to the guy. And he basically says the first time this gentleman turned up, we didn't report him because he had an hour and then there was no particular issues and he went.
Yeah.
So fine,
Yeah.
okay. The reason he reported it, he's turned up again, so we thought we'd report it, and then of course they said, and he did turn up before.
I had been
blah,
there
blah,
before.
blah.
Now, whether he'd seen me before or not,
Yeah.
and obviously took the registration, which I've no
See, the
problem
thing
with
is
taking
now,
the registration number.
is it right if I call you Stefan?
Yeah.
Stefan.
Yeah.
The thing is now, Stefan, if you go around there and you're saying this is your interest and you take pictures, if it gets rang through, which it probably will, and they give your registration, and it comes through to us, I'll know it. So I'll be able to go.
So
That's we've been to see that.
Don't think that means that there's any form of criminal record.
No, of course not.
But it gives us.
No, there isn't, because there's no. I've not committed
I
any
would have
crime
an
at all.
idea who it is, and the fact that I've been to see it today, and you find. Don't worry about it.
Because I will be going again.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I even said to the police that were there and the security guard, I said, look, I will become. I'm not going to harass or anything like that, but if I'm down that area or whatever, and it looks, I will. Yeah.
I mean,
It's not against the law. No, it's not.
But we just want to check that you're not doing it for nefarious reasons.
Yeah,
Most
which I
people
thought
are.
had already
Most
been
people
checked
are.
out anyway, but obviously you just want to.
That's
our department who specialise in stuff like that, and we get a lot of it. Say shopping centres, because of the current climate, you only got to watch the news. It's like now, everyone's telling people to be vigilant.
Yeah.
That is a very good thing, but dare I say, it's made our workload go massively. But when you speak to people, usually you can iron it out. It's all innocent. But if someone is taking a picture of the doors at Victoria Centre in Nottingham, security are going to be told keep your eye out for people doing things like that, and then you're going to think, well, why are they doing that?
But again, you can do it as well, can't you?
you
It is
can
illegal to,
But expect someone to probably, in the current climate, knock on your door and go, excuse me, do you mind just saying why?
Yeah.
And if you say, well, I've got an interest in photography, I'm a student at the uni, I'm studying, architectural design.
Yeah,
or
I'm not
whatever,
doing any of that.
checks out, absolutely fine.
Yeah,
But what we say to people as well is, for instance, we have this guy a little while ago, constable taking pictures, he'd done it regularly, and he just says, checked him out, he was fine. He got a very good interest in, a big interest in photography, and this particular time he'd done it at night. And it was early hours in the morning, so that was a bit like 3 in the morning.
But again, you see,
when
you're getting the light there as well.
Well, he said, I'm trying to improve my nighttime photography. He says, I work over the road, and he was a bus driver. He says, and I start at 4, and it was like something like half 3.
Yeah, well, I
went
start
over
stupid
there,
times.
and it all checked out, because you're initially thinking, why would you be there doing that at that time in the morning? But you've got a keen interest in photography. But what I said to him, as soon as that's the case, maybe go to the concert hall, ask if there's any chance you could see the manager or and say, it's me,
Get some permission.
I've got interest in it, if you see me, no problems. Are you with me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just let people
of
know
course.
you do, 'cause people are jittery.
Yeah, of course they are. And
You know.
people don't trust anyone, do they? You know,
No.
with or without a camera.
And that's, you know, it's been like this for a little while now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Like I said,
Well,
we've been asking, as a government and authorities, have been asking the public to be vigilant. Things get reported, and we're aware that people have got interest in photography.
Yeah.
Do feel a little bit, perhaps, that persecution is the wrong, perhaps too strong a word for it, but you know, you go out and people will look at you and possibly report things. It's just trying to strike a reasonable medium, you know, between trying to raise public vigilance and keeping people safe and allowing you to do it. You know, we're not coming out here and saying you can't take photos. We're just willing to say, look, you've been there a couple of times. Well, you've engaged with officers once. We just want to have a chat with you. Everything looks like it's okay.
So if I was to go again, I mean, I've no intention, but if I was to go again, and obviously I would raise security interest again, which is fair enough, you know, because they are only. And if they were to ring it through, and then this number plate came up, and obviously it'd come up somewhere, I presume, on the system, wouldn't it?
It would probably come through to our department. It should, put it this way, it should come through to our department.
Yeah.
And as with everything in the police, we will record what we do. So,
right.
So there'll be just a record from our point of view in terms of on our systems.
Yeah.
That we've had a chat with you today, and we're quite happy.
Yeah.
So if that does come through again, as Mark said, then hopefully there shouldn't be an issue.
We enter the VRM, the reg into the system.
Yeah.
It brings up that, and you're, oh right, there is a report. You have a look at it, and it goes, oh right, okay. Martin Brett went to see.
So it'd also have this on it as well now, then, would it?
Yeah. He is a keen photographer. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No
right,
concerns.
brilliant. No concerns. Yeah.
And that would satisfy them as well, shouldn't it?
Sort it all out.
Yeah.
But again, the best advice that we can probably give you is, if you do go again, just try and, when you first get there, just try and find them and say.
Well, it's not difficult really to.
Yeah.
You only have to get out the car and put the thing on the road, and they're there.
If you pull up with the security things, you just say, I've been here a few times.
Yeah.
You know, blah blah blah.
Been here a few times.
We're taking pictures.
You've come and engaged with me a couple of times. Police have come out. Police have actually seen me. And they've advised me.
I'm not up to help, you know.
You know. You know, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm here to take photos. And that's it. And hopefully, if that does happen, and if they did phone it through to us again, then the thing
it'd just be an inquiry over the phone, then, wouldn't it?
Should be something that would be able to sort of dealt with there and then.